Hi, I'm Brianna, and this channel is about my journey to entrepreneurship. Welcome. This video is about a cruise I took. Welcome to that. I just made a video about the products I'm glad I brought and the products I wish I had brought on the cruise, and I'm sure you've watched a lot of videos about that. This video, however, is about the mindset that I went into the cruise with so as to make the most of it. I am a stay-at-home mom, wannabe entrepreneur, which means I have a lot on my mind at all times, and I'm busy cooking and cleaning. And the cruise was an opportunity for me to get away from cooking and cleaning, and I could just focus on what's on my mind. So this cruise was really important to me. I wanted to make the most of it, and therefore I gave it some forethought. This is also my third cruise, so I knew what to expect and I knew what the potential was. I went from Galveston, Texas to Cozumel, Mexico on Carnival Dream, and I went with my 1-year-old, my husband, and his family. There were a total of 11 of us. My whole trip was about 10 days, so I really put a lot of thought into it before it started. We're gonna go over the areas that I have strategies for, including organization and packing, money, time, and food. And you will figure out why the title of this video says Bougie Foods Only, honey. Let's start with storage and organization. So I'm really bad at packing. I think it's like ADD because I feel overwhelmed. There's so many things to remember. I'm kind of high maintenance, so there's like a lot of little things that go into like bringing all this together. So for the cruise, I didn't want to have this experience where my bag is just like a wreck the whole time. Plus, like I said, the trip was 10 whole days. So what we did was we packed a bag for before the cruise and a bag for the cruise. So we didn't have to like keep going through that set of stuff. So that's one strategy. The other was that I tried to pack smarter than I normally do. So for the cruise, I planned on having a day outfit and an evening outfit. I really like to eat in the dining room, which I'll talk to you more about later. So I wanted to have something nice and fresh to wear in the dining room. Plus there is a dress code for the dining room, so you'll want to check that out before you go on a cruise. Also, every cruise I've been on has had like a formal night. It's now called Elegant Night or Elegant Attire. So I like participating in that, and I feel like there is a big range of what people wear. For me, since I'm not a person that's just like dying to wear a gown, nor is the persons that I'm normally with, I think a good rule of thumb is to dress as if you're going to a wedding for which you will be dressed nicely. So I think that gets you like middle of the pack, still acceptable, and you won't feel out of place. Unfortunately, I did feel out of place because my group did not really participate. So I was the one who was dressed the most, which should have made me proud, but I was like a little embarrassing, like, should I have just dressed down? And also, don't kid yourself on how much you're gonna work out, just saying. I also got smart about what I was gonna do. My only goals for the cruise were to rest and to focus on making plans for my business, because I'm always complaining about like not having time to sit down and think. So I didn't bring a lot of stuff. I didn't bring any physical books. I just brought my laptop, some digital downloads, and journals. And I think that being realistic about what I was gonna do helped me not to overpack. Next was the category of money. So one thing that might be unusual is I decided I wasn't gonna buy souvenirs because a lot of times you just get these knickknacks that are just kind of there. So I didn't wanna go through that. I didn't wanna buy people stuff that they didn't care about. And that was my plan. I ended up buying some stuff. For one, I bought this shirt, which I'm glad I bought. And I bought this very cute magnet. And I bought some toys for my son. Now, I'll also say that it really is the thought that counts when you're buying souvenirs for other people. So I'm not gonna say don't. And I also wrote a very interesting, well, I think it's interesting, blog post about gift giving and about what the thought really means. And I'll link that below. But for me, in this case, I didn't think that I didn't think it was important for me to bring people's stuff back. All the people who would have been important to were there, I guess. One thing regarding money about this particular cruise was that I felt like I was being sold to a lot, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that everything I did was like an opportunity to spend more money. Of course, there are people walking around trying to sell you drinks. You understand that, but I just don't remember it to the extent it was this time. Plus, in the dining room, whereas other cruises I've been on, there's a night where they give you steak and lobster. On this cruise, you had to pay like $20 to get a lobster, and there's just all these other things you could pay for. And I went on a cruise to have like a privileged experience, an all-inclusive experience. So I didn't really like that. It made me think about how much money I do or don't have. Speaking of money I do or don't have, I did not want to spend $400 on a drink package. Yes, $400, because it was like $52 a day per person, and each person in your room had to buy the drink package. I feel like I remember in the past you could buy the drink package like anytime during the trip, but on this trip you had to do it either before or the first day. I just didn't want to spend that much money. So what we did very reprehensively was we snuck our alcohol on the cruise, honey, and you can see that in the last video. We brought our own alcohol. You can also, like, not against the rules, bring a bottle of wine or two per person. I just didn't think it was worth it. I also will share with you that my sister-in-law was pregnant and she was able to go to guest services and they didn't charge her, so her husband could still get it. And other people who have the drink package do have the ability to buy a drink and give it to you. They have to wait 5 minutes between ordering, and they of course have to go get it. Like, one of my cousins tried to go get it for my sister-in-law's husband, but they looked totally different. I didn't get to share anybody's drinks, unfortunately. I would have liked to. In the future, I would like to just be able to buy the drink package because I want to feel privileged. So hopefully next time I'm on a cruise, it won't hurt so much to spend $400 on that. Also, when it came to the excursions, we didn't do the excursion ahead of time. We didn't buy them ahead of time, and we were able to find something super affordable day of. When we got to Cozumel, there were people just like, selling excursions, and we just signed up. They took our room number and they charged it to our room. We just did a little shopping thing where they took us to this place to shop, and then they took us to the beach. And I got to go to a tequila class, and they also had some snorkeling class and equipment for you to use there. Now, one way we ended up getting that excursion free was, it's not really a strategy. This is what happened. So my husband and I are in the bed, and we suddenly smell something burning. So we both jump up. I go look at the power strip to see if there's like an electrical fire, and he's looking at the lights, and then he goes out into the hallway and gets somebody, and I call guest services. I'm like, oh my gosh, I smell something burning. Is there a natural reason I would be smelling this? Because sometimes at the beginning of the winter or whatever, when you first turn the AC on, you smell something burning because there's dust in there. That's what it was like. But they didn't seem to be familiar with that. As I spoke to them, my husband brought somebody to our room, and the people across the hall came out and they said they smelled it too. So in the days that followed, the guest services called us again. They put a letter in our mailbox. They sent someone again, and it was fine. Like, we understood it wasn't something to be worried about. But I guess in their service recovery, they decided to offer us a $50 credit. And then after we did the excursion, she said, well, I see that you did an excursion today, so I'll take care of that. So we didn't have to pay for the excursion. I'm not saying act like something's burning, but I'm just saying. So I've talked to you about packing and money. The next most important thing to me was my time. Again, I'm a mom and I'll be busy. So I was really needing a break. I was like at an apex of stress mid-December. Therefore, I wanted to be mindful about how I spent my time. One thing that was really important to me was No FOMO. That is no fear of missing out. There are so many things to do on a cruise that it would have been easy for me to be worried about missing out or like not getting my money's worth. But I just let that go. I said, you know what? What's most important to you is rest. You don't have to cook and clean. Enjoy that. Like, that is a vacation on its own. So I didn't go to the nightclub. I didn't go to the shows. I didn't go play mini golf. I did, however, go to the office trivia, which I'm proud to say I won. My husband had me go to that. That was one thing I did. And I went to a comedy show like the first night, but I didn't make it to the 11:30 show. So I was pretty much, I was rested that whole trip. I did want to go do stuff on New Year's Eve, but it was a situation where somebody had to be in the room with my son, and I didn't want to really hang out with my husband's family without him. And I wasn't really gonna make him stay in the room, so he got to do that. So no FOMO. I just focused on what I need to do, which was like reading, thinking, journaling, making plans. That's what I did, and that was a good enough vacation for me. We also did not get off the boat at Progresso. I've been to Cozumel and Progresso before. I don't really care about going to the beach. I didn't want to, and I was fine with staying inside. I got what I needed from that trip. Yeah, guac is extra. And what I like most about a cruise is the food. Knowing that the food was gonna be something that I don't have access to on a regular basis, I wanted to go in with some framework to keep me grounded, because I still am trying to achieve pre-baby body, almost 2 years post, and I just knew that the cruise wasn't gonna help me out. So I gave it some thought. On the way to the cruise, I tried to be conservative with what I ate, because I knew I was gonna have a lot of good calories on the cruise. My mom was like, y'all want a Klondike bar? And I was like, no, I will eat amazing foods and desserts on the cruise. And that's what I did. When I was packing for the cruise, I did not pack snacks, because there are enough calories to be consumed with the food that is provided on the cruise, and that worked for me. One other thing that I learned from previous cruises is that you gotta eat in the dining room, because it's just a much better experience. You're being served. I can stand in line and fix my food in St. Louis, Missouri, and that's what I do every day when I stand in line at the store and then make dinner at home. I didn't want to do the buffet up on the Lido deck. Also, our room was on the 7th floor. I felt like that was a really good proximity to the Lido deck, because if you're lower, then you have to take the elevator, which is going to waste your time. Someone suggested to eat vegetables every meal. I think that's a good way to make sure you don't overeat, or at least make sure you're getting foods you should get. At dinner, I did not eat the bread. Again, bread anywhere. I didn't want to eat it on the cruise when I could have so many better calories. And I stuck to that for the most part. I had bread a couple times because I really wanted it. Next, I tried to avoid food that I didn't like that much. I just wanted to do delicious foods only. I didn't partake in that college cafeteria soft serve ice cream. I mean, I had that ice cream when I was in college in the cafeteria, so I didn't really eat that. I had a little bit of it, but it wasn't that good. If I had to go to the buffet and I didn't like it that much, I didn't finish it. There's other opportunities to get good food. I did get something fancy. It was like butter popcorn pot de creme, and it wasn't that good, so I didn't finish it. Now, what I love about eating in the dining room is that they provide a menu. So every day I would get up and go to the app, because Carnival has an app now, and look at the menu. They had a different menu for New Year's. I'm gonna show it to you so you can get a sense of the type of class and privilege and experience that you have available to you in the dining room. This leads to my final and most important strategy, the pinnacle of my planning, the crux of my experience. Bougie foods only. That meant I wasn't eating eggs, no pancakes, no French toast, no French fries, no sandwiches. I wanted to eat stuff that I couldn't eat at home. This is why I'm here. Therefore, I had things like salmon superfood salad, which I could get here. I saw it on the menu last week. It was like $17, which is crazy. I had rabbit pastry. I had rosemary lamb, masala doja, or doja masala, something like that. Carnival melting chocolate ice cream, chocolate cake with ice cream. I wanted to eat stuff that I couldn't eat, stuff that wasn't available to me at my current economic level. And that was such a rich experience for me. Bougie foods only. I highly recommend it. Now, the impact this whole trip had on me, specifically the food, was that I got a sense of the life I could have if I got myself together, made some decisions, and made them happen so I can have some money. And by golly, I made some decisions, and let's see how I make it happen. If you're interested in watching me build a business this year, please subscribe to this channel. If you found my tips helpful, please like my video and share it with your family that you're going on a cruise with. If you have any additional tips, or if these are going to help you in any specific way you would like me to know about, please leave them in the comments below. After you've processed all this nonsense I've just said and figured out how you're going to make the most of your experience, enjoy your cruise.